I'll never do one for California again for an audience.
Okay. All right, let's get rolling here.
It's work.
The worst.
It's work.
So, yeah, Jeff, I know how to spell your name because you already got all that and all that kind of stuff. Can you tell me if you've had films in Dead Center Film Festival like this before?
Yes, sir. We had one film, I think, 3 years ago called The Jogger.
Okay.
Our second film didn't make it into it because of a confluence of events. So this is our second time to actually participate in this wonderful festival. Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Okay. And so I have a few questions about the film because I looked at the trailer, and since I've been coming to Dead Center quite a while, there are much more serious films this year than we've seen in the past. So up and coming filmmakers, instead of just making kind of goofy films, making all humor films, a lot of you are really starting to dig in on some really heavy this heavy subject matter here. This seems really serious for Dead Center. Is this kind of stepping out a little bit, or have we been moving this way?
As far as the complete festival is concerned, yeah. I mean, I think probably Lance or Kim would be more qualified to answer that. I can say personally, we write what we feel is we're passionate about at the time, and obviously we go out and try and find actors and directors and financing and all that kind of stuff. So that's where we kind of gravitated towards so far as filmmakers. Even though we did this, I think I already told you, we did this silly comedy this summer. We are hoping to branch out and to do action and comedy and other romantic comedies, but so far you'll see it a lot of film festivals, a lot of dramas, and typically
not all of them work.
Well, they're real hard to make work. Art is subjective.
Is it harder to make a drama, a really serious drama about a serious topic like this? Is it harder to make it work?
I think they all present their own unique challenges. If it's on the page, it should translate, as long as you're doing your job. I think that doing a comedy, the atmosphere is different. Yeah. People are a little looser. When you do a serious drama, people are a little more serious. I think they're equally as challenging and equally as fun in different ways, but doing the lighthearted stuff, there's a lot more laughter, if that makes any sense at all. But yeah, a lot of film festivals, I think dramas are typically, you can usually make them inexpensively. And I think that's why a lot of filmmakers are probably drawn to that genre in the first place.
You don't have to have a Star Wars budget, right?
You don't, although everybody would love to do a Star Wars and have a Star Wars budget.
Right.
The top genres that are sellers are always going to be thrillers and horrors and action.
Right.
You can make a horror film relatively cheaply. Dramas you can make cheaply. The other ones cost some money if you do it right. So dramas is a safe place.
Jeff, you're the writer also, right?
Yes, sir.
So you came up with this serious subject about somebody getting murdered, and now they're letting the guy out of prison, which happens quite often, by the way. Have you had that happen in your family, or do you know somebody?
Oh, I know a lot of people have been in prison. Yeah.
Nobody's had that happen.
No, well, first of all, I got to get credit to
Nancy. That guy goes in, now he's out.
Nancy Picard wrote a novel called ScentOfRain&Lightning, and we adapted it. This is the first time we've ever adapted a book.
Okay.
I'm not sure. I never asked her what her background was as far as that was concerned. Yeah, there's always going to be scrupulous characters in your lifetime, and you've got these nightmarish, haunting things that kind of creep back into your life. But she gets all the credit for coming up with the story.
What was the biggest challenge to translating from a novel to a script?
Well, once we had Brad Carter on board, it was the hardest thing was making sure that he showed up on time and was in character. I'm just kidding. He's sitting right over here, so I had to say that. I think my writing partner, Casey Twenter, thought it was harder to adapt a book. I thought it was easier because it was a unique challenge, and you have to just take little pieces here and there.
Yeah.
But the author, again, Nancy Picard, was such a trooper, and she never gave us one note. And I don't think it's because we're great writers. I think it's because she just was excited about seeing her material translated to the big screen, and she's just such a sweet lady. And once we got into several drafts, we go, okay, no, seriously, give us one note, and she would go, well, what do you think about? But she gave us leeway. We got to add a few things ourselves, but it's still at the same time stayed true to the book. But she gets the credit for coming up with the story.
Do you think she was curious to see how you would interpret the book?
Oh, of course. Yeah. When she agreed to let us do it, well, I think we optioned it for $1.
Yeah.
Independent filmmaking it doesn't come with a lot of money.
It's not dollars, not even hundreds.
Well, no, just dollars. Whether we did it for $1, but it was contingent upon her liking the script, and then once we made the films, obviously we paid her. But she trusted us, so it was really, really cool. Yeah.
What do you think, as the director, what were the biggest challenges for your actors in this kind of a movie like this? Especially the main actress. How do you pronounce her name?
Micah Monroe?
Micah Monroe, yeah.
Well, they're all pros. Blake Robbins was the director, and he's a fantastic director. And, I don't think there were a lot of challenges. There's always going to be, some actors will just show up and they'll say, hit your mark, say your lines, go home. And some want to know about the backstory and what's the motivation. And neither one of those is right or wrong, but you treat everybody, you adapt. But everybody was a pro. They showed up, did their part, and they would ask the questions to the writers if they had questions. Typically, they'd go to Blake, because he was the one directing it. But they were all fantastic, yeah.
All right. Jeff, thanks a lot for carving out.
It was a pleasure to meet you, yeah.
You're getting ready to walk over there
yes, sir.
Now. Is this the world premiere coming up?
No, we had a world premiere at a festival a couple months ago in Atlanta, but this is our Oklahoma premiere. So
Yeah. Great. Well, I'm gonna stand there and listen to the questions, then
fantastic.
Ask a few questions, not on camera, but just ask you a few questions to kind of fill in the story when I write it. So
whatever we can do to help, man.
All right.
Pleasure to meet you, man.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thank you.
Great.
Brad's awesome. He's going to do great.
So
take a sip of this, and I want to go over there.
Chug.
So here we go. Yeah. Go ahead. I want to get you on board here. Okay.
Oh, this is not good. Oh, it is good.
It is. Good.
It's kind of like a Duvel.
I told you.
It's kind of like Duvel or Chimay, a little bit.
Just our Oklahoma fancy beer.
Do you have a minty pretzel?
I thought we needed that. And I
Here, I'm going to do it a little bit.
Yeah.
Hey, very nice meeting you.
Yeah, you'll be back right at 8:15 for another one?
Yeah, well, we can just come right back here.
Right, okay, and you can come in this for actually. So
Oh, can I go out there for you? Okay.
Kevin's over there. He's been texting.
Come in and, come in at least, and then we'll bounce.
So does it start at 7 or 7:30?
7.
Started.
Oh.
Okay. All right. So tell me your name.
I'm Brad Carter.
Brad Carter. Okay, you're the main bad guy in the movie, right?
Yes, sir.
You're the main bad guy.
I am the
So-
pro tag.
Okay, so Brad, your character's name is what now?
Billy Croyle.
Billy Croyle. Now-
Croyle.
Yeah.
Croyle.
Oh, Croyle. Okay.
Billy Croyle. It was called Billy. What was he called in the book? Billy had a different name in the book, but they changed it to hair.
All right. So
Crowder, Billy Crowder.
Just kind of looking at the trailer, it looked like that character. You really had to get inside of that character to get it right. It can easily go too far over the top, can't it?
Always.
Kind of an extreme character, bad guy, extreme character, but. Is it easier as an actor to just take it too far over the top on a character like that?
Sure, that's a great question. It's very easy, you wind up, you could play something very one-dimensionally. Like, oh, this is an angry guy who's been jilted by life and he wants to kill this family, and you could easily fall into that trap. And what I try to do is just keep in mind that this was a guy who has a backstory and a life of his own, and we don't know what happened. I made it up, but we know that he's abusive already, and then these circumstances happen, and he winds up in prison for something that he did or did not do, depending on whether you saw the movie, and he. And you try to come at it from that angle of how does this guy feel, and if this was a real person, what would he be thinking? How would he be reacting to things, and how would he have been psychologically changed from 12 years in prison for something that that may not have been on him, you know, and that's a lot. That's kind of heavy.
Do you have to really kind of show the viewer the human side of a bad guy to make a bad guy believable?
You know what? I think so because, and I've played a lot over time. You know, on TV, it's really hard to ever get. You know, they want you to come into a guest star, and you're just kind of like you are one-dimensional because you're just there, and then you're gone.
Right.
And on a film such as this, you get to really kind of flesh out who this person is more to you, and to who they're going to be in the world. And what I loved was that Blake allowed me to just kind of make him how I wanted to make him. And what was your original question? What was your original question?
What about humanizing a bad guy to make him believable?
Yes, Nancy Picard, the writer, gave me the sweetest compliment. She said, when I wrote Billy, I didn't feel for him the way that I felt when I watched you play it. And that was such a, from the writer of a book, I mean, that was the sweetest thing that anybody could have ever said to me as an actor. And so I took it to heart, and that means I did my job somehow.
Yeah.
And that makes me happy.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing this film myself, so we're going to walk over there and see this film.
Yeah.
I'll include in the story here kind of some reflections on people asking you some questions on that. They'll probably ask you a lot of questions.
Sure, and if you have any questions after, grab me, because you probably will.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate
Sure,
it.
yeah.
All right.
All right.
Thanks. All right. I'll let you get over there.
Well, I've seen it.